Buckle up, sports fanatics. This is the Sports Chasers Podcast, your HQ for in-depth sports talk. Join host Kevin L. Warren and crew as they dissect the hottest stories, ignite debates, and bring you closer to the action. From locker room whispers to expert takes, we cover it all. It's game time, so strap in and grab a drink. The Sports Chasers Podcast starts right now.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on, everybody? It's another edition of the Sports Chasers Podcast coming to you live and direct. It's the Monday Night Football Blitz, man. We're coming to you live and direct. Make sure you like, click, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you also hit the bells for all the notifications that can get all this wonderful sports content. And also on the podcast side, you give us that 5-star review, 5-star review. Y'all know what it is. Let's speak the crew. There's only one crew member to me. It's only two of us. Me and the DA. DA, what's up with you tonight, bro? DA's yawning already.
Yeah, man. But
it's starting early.
Long night. Yeah, it's a long night anyway. So it's gonna, it ain't no sleep coming. So I'm good. I'm good though. I'm good. Let's get into it. Let's
get into it, man. Let me like I said, it's the Monday Night Football Blitz. We're gonna talk about what's going on in the college football world. Here, the selection committee, they announced their selections, and I'll bring it up here really quick. And got my screen there. There we go. All right, DA, I'll just go through it. Oregon is they're number one.
They get a bye.
Yeah, they get a bye. Georgia's number 2. They get a bye. Number 3 is Boise State. They get a bye. Number 4 is Arizona State.
They get a bye.
They get a bye. Texas, number 5. Number 6, Penn State. Number 7, Notre Dame. Number 8 is Ohio State. Number 9 is Tennessee. Number 10 is Indiana. Number 11 is SMU. And number 12 is Clemson. DA, I'll give it to you real quick, and then I'll counteract. Are you happy with this? I
think it's cool. I don't think you're gonna have the 12 best games, but that wouldn't happen whether Alabama or anybody else is in this year. It's you got to have the right teams in it based upon parity, right? So right now you got a bunch of teams. You got some teams that are in there that are good teams, but they're at another level from the other teams that they'll be essentially going against. But so for instance, you may get a walk with Boise State. Actually may be able to get SMU or Penn State. They shouldn't be able to beat Penn State based upon size, recruiting, just who Penn State is as a program. That game should be a blowout. Right, but it may not be because Penn State sometimes does that, right? Texas, not really sure about that offense right now. So Arizona State may be able to get them, and they may be able to get Clemson, right? Both of those teams are not great, but they're good enough to be there, and they are officially football programs, whereas Arizona State is a football team. They're not a program yet. Now
explain to people what's the difference in your opinion between football program.
Program is a good team every year. They don't ever have like a
that year.
Yeah, they don't ever have a 5 and something year like that. The standard is the standard, and it never happens. So
right,
yeah. So like Texas is a program. They had some lean years now. They had bad coaching, so forth and so on. But once they had some coaching, they're a program, they're a legacy program. So Clemson is a program now. It's been a program for the last 10 years. So since Tyrod and them was there. So Mike Williams. So they've been able to recruit, and they've got pretty good teams this year. The quarterback, they came on late in the season. Well, not really late in the season, but they came chugging along, and they really didn't have any hard games all year. So they did what they needed to do. I think the best game will be Tennessee, Ohio State, for sure. And then I guess I don't even know if Indiana. You'll see. You'll see if Indiana was for real. If they get Notre Dame, will even play them close.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I don't think so either. I think because when Indiana played Ohio State, right? Look what happened, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I don't know, man. Well, like you said, we'll see. Go ahead. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No. You got it. Go ahead.
I was going to say I'm happy. I know me and you had a good argument yesterday. We probably should have got on, but we saved it for tonight about Alabama not making it. And some people think that Alabama should have made it because of their record. And
I just think, man, I think you were right. This is the rules, right? And based on the rules, this is where it sits. Now, if you telling me the best teams, no, Alabama is one of the 12 best teams in the country, period.
okay,
Lost it, not just eyeballing it. Now, you can say their records were better and everything else, and that happens. That happens when you don't play anybody, and other schools do, right? But if this is the way it is, I go by the rules, B. And if they choose it, don't lose 3 games, right? Because there's a few 3-loss teams out there. But it doesn't mean that those are better teams. It just means that these teams, based upon this new format, they made it. They made it in.
so and my point I was trying to make to you yesterday, that what's greater, the better wins or the greater losses?
That's why the computer needs to do it. That's why I keep telling y'all.
So that's why my point was you yesterday was Otis, be quiet. Vanderbilt and what I said, Vanderbilt and who they lose to? Oklahoma. Those were bad. Those were bad losses. You know what I'm saying?
See, Vanderbilt. I think people speak to more Oklahoma and not Vanderbilt because Vanderbilt did get up into the top 25.
They did briefly,
yes. And then they won a few games, right? And they weren't expected to be there. Oklahoma was not as they just this year was they had a bunch going on and they beat Alabama. Kudos to that team for winning that game.
Right.
That was their Super Bowl. Alabama coach did better to make sure his kids were more focused on the game, right? So they'd be there. Same thing like Miami. Same thing. Stay a little bit more focused. You'd have been there, right? You win your last games and the easy games. And that's the what really makes a program is that they win the games they're supposed to win. So that's basically it. They win the games they're supposed to win. And Alabama did not do so. But I don't even know why everybody's jumping out the window. You got a brand new coach this year. Hey, either they'll get better or he'll get fired. And I'm sure they'll get better because they're a program. And the standard is the standard. It is nothing else but the standard. So now, if you're going to ask me, I test who's a better team, Alabama's better than SMU. No one can tell me they're not. If you're looking at them, they got better players. They're bigger. They're faster. They're stronger. They're a better team. If they played 9 out of 10 times, Alabama would beat the crap out of them. I'm not saying win. Would beat the crap out of them. Right? Because, again, the money that's spent in these programs on facilities, recruiting, NIL, all the rest of that stuff, it does bear itself out on the field. And if you don't believe it does, you're probably a little kooky. But yeah, it does bear itself. Or else, why would they buy all this stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, why would they buy these locker rooms and facilities and this and that if it didn't mean something on the field? It means something on the field. So that's all.
So what I put up, I've done my homework. I've done a little research. And this is what the BCS first college football playoff would be. You have the BCS simulated on the left, and you have the college football committee on the right. And this was from BCS simulation, AP coaches, and BCS computers. And as you can see, Oregon is 1, Georgia's 2, Notre Dame is 3, Texas is 4, Ohio State is 5, Penn State is 6, Tennessee is 7, Indiana is 8, Boise State is 9, Arizona State is 10, Alabama is number 11 according to a simulated BCS, and then SMU will be 12, Clemson, South Carolina, and Miami will be on the outside looking in. Do you agree with this simulated BCS?
I don't agree with either or. Like I said, I saw David Pollock on this morning, and we agreed on everything. The only way this makes sense going forward is if, first off, all the other conferences unfortunately got to get kicked out, or they're always going to have a hard time making it. But what you want to have happen is the five big conferences all have to play each other every year.
Right.
So an SEC team has to play, you know, at least 10 teams in your division have to play 10 teams in the ACC, 10 Big 10 teams, and 10, Big 12 teams, right? That's only 4 games out of a 14-game season, however many freaking games they play. Then you got data points that you could speak to say, okay, well, they both played this school, and this is this. Or they both played that, and this is that. And you can see who's there. And, the wheat from the chaff. Some schools are going to rise, and some are going to fall, because you're not going to have too many years of Indiana playing South Carolina and then Mississippi, and then you ain't going to have too many years of that.
Purdue.
And they go well. So you got to have that. So you have the data points. So you have same competitors that you're playing against,
Right.
Then you can do your scores and that, the win total, loss total, all the rest of that. Because like you said, man, this stuff doesn't make sense, right? What has more validity? The who you win, the games you won, how big was your wins, or how bad were your losses? They're all equal, because a loss is somebody else's win. So it's good for them, bad for you. Your win is good for you and bad for them. That's just what it is. But until you guys are playing the same teams, there's no way to to kind of put in and say, okay, well, they beat, South Carolina beat Clemson, and then they beat Ohio State. 2 separate conferences. That means there's going to be another 6 or 7 teams that play both of these schools. And you'll be able to see if there's a tie at the end of the year based on record, who did better against them. And you also still have to always grab that eye test, because it is true that a team that lost early in the year is not the same team at the end of the year. And we all understand that because we all played. And you're supposed to get better. That's supposed to happen. That's what you're supposed to do. But the reality is that, not everybody takes that into consideration. And I just believe that for human beings, there are too many factors to be taken into consideration for these people to get this thing right. That's all. It's just not right yet.
I would even say for the buys for BYU and Arizona State, man, I think they should be ranked lower, but they put value in what the conference championships.
Yeah, well, but then they took out value, right? The ACC champ, right? So the ACC champ is Clemson, right? So this still doesn't make sense,
right?
Because the ACC champion is Clemson, man. And what they get out the deal? 12.
Well,
they're a far better conference than the Big 12 and the conference Boise State's in. They're better, even as bad as they are. And they've been both, sorry, Dan. Pitt was a good team. Syracuse was a good team. North Carolina State, North Carolina, Duke, hot garbage. So, yeah, Florida State was bad. Georgia Tech was in the middle. I don't even know. Georgia Tech probably has a bowl game. You got Miami and Louisville. So, yeah, I would say the ACC was a better conference because it said the top 4 conferences, right? Top 4 conference champions. Well, that should have been Clemson. Right? You don't think that the ACC was better than the Big 12?
Oh, yeah.
So why are they not above Arizona State?
Because then it breaks down, I guess, how many losses Clemson had? 3?
But that's supposed to go out the window if you won the chip. See, this is why we can't do this, Kevin. There are too many if and buts and ors. This is why it doesn't work. And can't nobody tell me nothing different. This is why it doesn't work.
Nah, I'm with you. I'm with
You know?
you.
So they'll get it changed, or they won't. They'll get it changed, or they won't, man. But it doesn't make any sense that the ACC champ. Okay, I can understand. You put the ACC champ behind the Big Ten champ and the SEC champ. Okay, but you got them ranked behind. Like so, again, so now? Because right, once you get to the championship, you won your championship. You should be 1, 2, 3, or 4. All those other numbers don't matter to you because you won your championship. So you got you playing bid witch, you got your black ace, you threw it out, bam, you good. And nothing else you can do, right? Because you're there.
This dude said bid witch.
Like everybody else has got to go down. So now the numbers only start at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There is no 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, correct.
1, 2, 3, 4 is it says the four best conference champions get a bye. Can't tell me. So that has to mean, does that mean now we count your record? So say Clemson won the championship and they have 4 losses. So you saying they can't be in it? You wasn't going to let them be in it? They won their championship.
They get the automatic bid, kind of like basketball, right?
They're in.
Yeah, me and you talked about that. How many times does that happen in basketball? Not a lot, right?
Yeah.
Where the team comes from nowhere, they've sucked the whole year, and they come to the conference tournament, they get hot, and they win. How many games you got to win? 4 or 5, or 6
games. But that's what I'm saying. So dig it. So SMU had a better record overall than Clemson over the course of the year, but they lost to Clemson, right, in that game.
Correct.
Look where they're ranked, Kevin. Look at the numbers next to them. Look at the numbers.
Clemson's 12. Yeah, right. SMU's 11.
Yeah, so either they think we're stupid or we're just stupid.
I heard a guy. I saw a guy on TikTok this afternoon. I thought it was elegant how he said, if this was a real playoff, you wouldn't need a committee. And I was like, wow. What he said speaks volumes because all other professional playoffs, because they are professional, whether you want to believe it or not.
Yeah.
You know, the NFL ain't no committee, right? And me and you talked about this morning on the phone. When with the playoffs in the NFL, there's like 1,000 different combinations reached before there's actually a coin toss to determine who's going to the playoff, right? You know, you have the division head-to-head, division play, there's so many tiebreakers, there's so many things but in college football, as you forestated, there's so much ambiguity, and which leaves this. I mean, I hate to say, I got to put my tinfoil hat on like you sometimes and be like, yo, it's like they almost want this.
They do. It's a TV show.
Yeah.
There's no other way to, there's not most, and it's funny because college football usually around this time of the year, it kind of gets a little boring because you already know where you're at. Because there's only 4 teams. So you already kind of knew who the 4 teams were.
Right.
You didn't have to build it up. You kind of knew who it was. So the buildup was to when they got to play each other because you had real dogs playing each other. Like you had no other. There was some years where Alabama was better. Right. And there was a year or two when Clemson was really, really good. But for the most part, those games were good games.
Correct.
Georgia, Ohio State, I think it was like 48-50 or something that game. Like it was real because they had everybody that essentially paid the same amount of money for their locker rooms and facilities and under the table money and over the table money. And, all that stuff was taken care of. Everybody knew what the hell was going down. Wasn't no bullshit, right?
No.
And when those games came, they were good games for the most part. I am guaranteeing the world what? There will not be some good games in these playoffs. There will not be. There will be some bad games. There will be some Home Depot Lowe's games in the playoff, and that's not what the NCAA wanted.
I mean, we'll get into it. What, in your opinion, I'll put it back here on the screen. What do you think? And I'm thinking that this Indiana.
SMU, yeah, oh, man, that's going to be a bloodbath, right? So Notre Dame, they're gonna bludgeon them, and I think the who gets the home game? Notre
That
Dame,
game, that game's in South Bend, correct? Mm-hmm.
okay, and yeah, they're gonna bludgeon them. That's not gonna be funny.
And then you got Penn State against SMU.
That probably won't be good either, and Penn State Boise probably won't be good either. Now I think Tennessee and Ohio State, that's Ryan Day's job, so they gotta go hard. And the coach in Tennessee, Heupel, he's a great coach. He's a great motivator. He gets his dudes up for real. And you know what? If their offense gets off to a slow start like they've been doing, though their defense is playing well, I think Clemson might be able to snatch one from them. And if that's the case, then Sarkisian is out of another job, right? So, yeah, it's going to be hard for him. Oh, Texas, it's hard. Be like, once they get a taste of it, they're definitely like heroin addicts. They're not. Yeah, they like Cowboy fans. When they get this close to it,
yeah,
they're mad now, and they should be.
Let me ask you this. Let me point your attention to this. And I looked and studied a little bit today. Oregon's pathway to the championship. They possibly
harder than the other side.
How is that though?
Because they got Tennessee. They got Tennessee, Ohio State, and Texas.
But my question to you is, I mean, you probably answered in the last thing that I just asked you, but these teams probably should be seeded differently, but
yes,
they're not
they should be. Because what's the purpose of being number one, Kevin?
To have the easier path, of course, right? And to play home games and kind of
so we're acting like the NCAA just got the rule book themselves of how to do this shit yesterday when they've been doing this with basketball forever and baseball and hockey.
Yes.
So they're just getting, man, listen, man, they can miss me with this, B. They can, put me in a cave, turn off all the college football mess, and when the games start, turn it back on, and I'll be there to watch. That's all. What they're going to need to do is be real with the other schools. And the financial ramifications of that is what the NCAA does not want to do. When I say the other schools, I mean, everybody not in the Power 5 conference.
Correct.
They can only round robin with each other. They can't go out and play Central Florida no more. You're out the $1 million lottery. Sorry, Central Florida. You're out. You're out. We're not playing you anymore. So you guys got to get your own conference and play your own tournament and get your own Super Bowl thing for you guys, because you're no longer going to be able to play with the other schools, the big and Power 5 schools, if they're going to do the Power 5 right, which means, round robin every year like they do in the NFL. You said it earlier, right? The NFC West has a year they play the NFC East. Then they're going to play the AFC East. They're going to play the AFC South. They're going to play, the NFC. Every year it goes around. They're going to have to do that with these teams, right? So that you'll be able to say where the tiebreakers are. Because right now you can't say it.
And next year you add 2 more teams.
The teams is not the issue, Kev. It's
the equation. How we get to the solving the problem.
And how serious these people are about making this, making this real, right? Do they still want to have Greeny and Feinbaum come on every day talking some stupid stuff? Or do they want people that really, you know what I'm saying?
That's into it.
Be into it and not get all these cockamamie stories. Oh, they're going to fire Ryan Day. Well, they should have fired him last year. If beating Michigan was it, he would have been gone. Right? So he's good. Right? College football coaches don't grow on trees.
Nope.
There's not one everywhere. So the reality is that you're going to have to give this. I don't know what you give him. I couldn't tell you because what does he not have? You know, he had Marvin Harrison Jr. last year and lost. You know, the year before that he had 3 receivers that went and Stroud and still didn't win. So I don't know what else you can do for him. But if you fire him, there may not be another guy to do that.
Nope.
So just so you know, because it's funny. It was just looking at a thing on TikTok. It was a parody when they was talking about like Coach Saban had the new coach, DeBoer, come into his office for his end of season review. It was like, yo, dog, 3 wins? We don't do that. We don't do that here.
You mean 3 losses?
3 losses, yeah. Like, we don't do that here. What are you crazy? And see, and that's
unacceptable.
It's unacceptable. It's hard to find college coaches that are that good. So, you know, we'll wait and see what the turnout is at the end of the day. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. I wait for the other tournament, man. I always like that tournament, the FCS, the other one. So,
if you want to see some real football, I'm DA's right. About 2 or 3 years ago, I started watching the other tournament, the FC. What's it?
FCS.
FCS.
Those are kids that may not get to be in the NFL. They're just playing because they love to play.
Yes,
but they will be coaches at Alabama in 5-10 years.
Yep, 100%. 100%. Any last things? Like I said, we'll break this down. They don't start play, I believe, in 2 weeks. The bowl games will be starting. Bowl games. Let's just talk about it real quick. No, just don't hold the weight down how it used to years ago.
No one cares now. They've taken all the air out of that bowl game balloon with the put your thing back up there, Kev, because you tell you what the bowl games that matter. They've already told you. See, and that's the other part of this. Why are we playing? I don't know, man.
There you go.
Yeah,
you got Jackson State. Shout out to Jackson State.
Yeah, you got that. But that, you know what, like that's the SWAC MEAC game there, correct, right? So from there, what happens is then they don't go into no more bowls. They go into the D1 AA tournament champion to be the champion of D1 AA after that, right? But right, no one cares about the Camelo Bowl. No one cares. None of these bowls matter, right, Kev? If you put up your brackets, they've told the world these are the bowls that matter. And unless you're an alumni of one of these other schools in the bowl, you will not be watching, or unless you're like me and Kev, you're laying on the couch and you just got in from running the errand and you're chilling. All right. So it's the Peach Bowl, the Rose Bowl, Fiesta Bowl, Sugar Bowl. What else? What's the other one they playing? What's that?
And just now, it's just the national championship game, which they just rotate between sites.
So the other bowl games don't matter, man. So you got to watch. I thought they were going to make a bowl game out of the Ohio State, Tennessee would be a bowl game, and then Texas Clemson would be a bowl game. Then when they played the other game, then that would be a bowl game. But I guess. Well, they moving too much stuff around, I guess.
No, they did. They made the quarterfinals, I guess. The
bowl games.
Yeah, bowl games. So you got whoever's the winner of the Ohio State Tennessee game when they face Oregon will play. That'll be the Rose Bowl. Yeah. Then you have the Peach Bowl. Then you have the Fiesta Bowl. So those are the moving parts.
Yeah. Oh well, okay.
And so
it'll be what it is. But yeah, they've already told you at the rest of those bowls. So you folks going to the Mayonnaise Bowl. No one cares.
Shout out to my people in Charlotte going to the Duke Mayonnaise.
Yeah, no one cares.
And that's why the kids are opting out, not playing.
Yeah, it don't matter. It don't matter. NCAA. I'm gonna go down to Florida and work out for the draft, or for my tryout, or whatever it's gonna be. So I'm not gonna go ahead and get my butt cracked and beat. And break my leg in the game for nothing. No one else will give me no bread. So no. So yeah, that's it. College football. Ooh.
Yeah. All right, let's
They'll be all
transition.
right.
They'll be all right. Let's transition to the pros here.
Like
Uh,
2 games,
yes,
maybe.
uh,
A
if
few
that,
surprises.
a few. Well,
Did the
let's
Jets win? Did the Jets win?
the Jets lost in overtime, bro.
Wow. The curse of Robert Saleh. It's just not ever going to win again, huh?
Now they got officially eliminated from the playoffs on yesterday.
Well,
Well,
I guess they'll have to pray over Joe Namath and some chicken bones or some shit. Get
yeah.
back in there. So Joe ain't got to be dead. He just got to be laying down. I know he drinks sometimes. So just catch him on a good Saturday.
Yeah.
Pray over him. So
Let me go to
it is
Pittsburgh.
nice.
Yeah, let me go to Pittsburgh real quick from the AP from CBS Sports. Cam Edwards has been on good teams before, one that have captured divisions, one that have won playoff games, though admittedly not in a while. The longtime Steelers defensive tackle now well into his dotage in his 14th season. Can't quite remember having a group like this. One that he plays on now. We have a complete team. Hayward says the team that began the season riddled with question marks now finds itself steamrolling towards Christmas with everything on the table. Russell Wilson threw for 158 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hayward recorded 2 sacks. Excuse me. And the Steelers beat the Cleveland Browns 27-14 on Sunday, even with leading receiver George Pickens watching from the sidelines while missing the first game of the career due. Though this game, was close a little bit, but, the Steelers made it not close in the third quarter. They won the game 27-14. Winston was 41 for the Browns, 2 TDs, 2 touchdowns. Russell Wilson, as I said, 15-26, 158. 2 TDs. Pittsburgh's running game, Najee Harris, he was 16-53. Warren was 9-47. They had over 100 yards. Yo, Pittsburgh's doing what? They are running the ball.
Running the football, playing good defense. Yeah, it's been working since we've been kids, Kev. Working since we've been kids. That Parcells guy used to do that.
Yeah. The Steelers are 10-3. Dan, you hear that? The Steelers are 10-3.
Yeah, told you, Dan.
Yeah, Dan makes the point that they talked about the Steelers and the Steelers doing good. And
he talked about his Steelers. So I got no quarterbacks. No, Dan, you're okay, Dan. All right, you don't know. Okay, Dan. You say so, Dan.
Yeah.
And I told Ryan that I told you why you don't put all those dollars in the quarterbacks like Joe Burrow, because they can't pay anybody else. And that team's going to be bad until either they find like a rookie defensive player that's the bomb, or maybe Joe Burrow tries to do some Shohei Ohtani stuff and give some of the money back or defer it or something, because
right.
They don't have enough money to pay a defense now.
No.
Yeah. So
no.
That's the problem.
Yeah, definitely not. The Steelers, they keep on trucking on, man. They're first in the division, I believe. They're first in the division, and they keep doing their thing.
They got the tiebreaker against Ravens. So, right? Didn't they beat them? They may play one more time though. But
they play one more time, and they beat them again. Then they'll definitely have the tiebreaker. So,
but they beat them the first time I think they beat them in Baltimore. So
I don't remember where it was that they beat them.
I think. I'm not sure. But ask Mikey when you get back on. But yeah, it's I'm happy to see Russell doing what he do. So, he took all of the comments and everybody shitting on him, and he stayed the same chipper self. And you know what? Now he's ready to ride, man. He's doing what he do.
Russell
not doing too much.
Russell's cooking.
Yeah, he's not doing too much, but he's doing just enough to get on the. And I think he got some more steam to pull out if need be in a big playoff game. Like I do not believe that Russell Wilson will go into a playoff game, because in his mind, he's already seeing the showdown between him and Mahomes, the old school versus the new school. Russell's already looking at that like this is it. I'm back, baby. So yeah, like my man Costanza, I'm back, baby. So yeah, he's ready to do it, man. So should be interesting, man. I think that'll be really good, really good. The NFC is the one that's the most tantalizing, but the Detroit, Philadelphia thing.
Detroit with their win on Thursday night. Philadelphia beat up on the Panthers yesterday.
Yeah. Bryce looked good though. Bryce is playing well.
Listen, shout out to that young man. He's learned to turn it around. He got another opportunity, man. And just quarterback is one of the hardest things to play in sports in the NFL. If you don't know it, check it out. It's hard.
You gotta have some coaches that have at least a little bit of an idea as to what they have. And
right.
He's not the big strong arm guy. You gotta work an offense that works for him physically. So,
and as you always say, coach.
Yeah, well,
you said,
don't like coaching. Coaching shit is hard.
So. But they get paid millions to coach.
I know, Kev. I've been saying that forever, man. But
Oh man, let me move on to the next game. And I'm just mentioning this because this guy has been standing tall at the ATM.
Oh my man.
From Minneapolis, from the AP, from CBS Sports. Of course, Sam Darnold tossed aside his stoic demeanor for a moment after realizing he was on the video board, aggressively twirling a towel to further stroke the crowd's fire after the Vikings had pulled away from Kirk Cousins and the Falcons late in the game. I just felt the buzz. That was pure passion, pure joy, Darnold said. Darnold added yet another highlight to his brilliant first season with the Vikings, passing for 347 yards and 5 touchdowns, both career highs, in a 42-21 victory over the floundering Falcons on Sunday to stretch their win streak to 6 games. Just felt like it was one of those days to keep the gas on the pedal, said Coach Kevin O'Connell, who enjoyed his team's first 40-point game in 3 seasons on the job. Darnold passed for 250 yards after halftime to help the Vikes 11-2 break a 21-all tie in the fourth quarter and stay one game behind the NFC's North leading Detroit, with a final week matchup looming with the Lions. Jordan Addison had 8 catches for 133 yards and 3 scores, and Justin Jefferson racked up 7 receptions for 132 yards and 2 touchdowns after going the past 6 games without scoring. And I read Darnold's stats. Atlanta Cousins, he was 23 of 37, 344 yards. Yes, but you got to remember they got down and he threw the ball to the other team.
Well, man, look.
Go ahead.
They're gonna stop caping for this dude, man. And they made all kinds of excuses this morning, and I'm like, listen, dog, put Penix in the game. It's time.
I said,
what does it change now? And and I think Darnold, man, listen, you know what? I don't know where Darnold's going to be next year. He won't be in Minnesota, but he's gonna go get that bread.
He's gonna cash in. I don't blame him.
Yeah, and they got a cat that they drafted in the first round, and he ain't trying to hear all that over his shoulder. This kid coming up on the rookie contract, blah blah blah. Because the kid on the rookie contract is better for the team. So that is the truth,
right?
So because you can get more players, which keeps Minnesota relevant longer. But I think Sam Darnold goes somewhere and robs somebody, because once he takes all that money from somebody, if they don't have everybody under contract for that year, and they're trying to win the Super Bowl that year, maybe the next, that team's going to stink because they can't pay anybody. So
you can't see Rob.
Oh well, get what he deserves. It's what he deserves. I'm not mad at the dude.
No, I'm messing with you, of course. Yes.
Yeah, but he deserves it. He had a good season.
But we always say it on this show, if you give the quarterback the majority of the money, then I don't want to hear anything. And you do like how Russ did in Seattle. Russ took the money, and Russ said, I'm a cook.
I got to cook.
And he did. And he cooked with people off the practice squad, off the street.
Yeah. I mean, he did the best he could.
With what he had, right.
Yeah, until they got rid of him. And then they said, well,
we're not
really paying Gino. We can get a bunch of dudes now.
Yeah.
It's what you want to do. So, I think they need to see what they got with Penix. I think your boy is still 50 guaranteed on his Cousins. So Kirk D might be more than that guaranteed. So it doesn't really matter. I would just put the kid in, at least at minimum Cousins doesn't get hurt.
Right.
So it don't be like old Cap on any given Sunday Come on, Cap. Don't be old Cap. Just go and sit down. Let Willie Beeman come on in there and see what he got.
If you've never seen that movie, Any Given Sunday, I think one of the best sports movies ever.
Pretty good. Especially when Cap wife said, "Man, you ain't get your get that Toradol in your shoulder and get back on that field."
I mean, they had stars of stars. Lawrence Taylor was in there. Jamie Foxx was in there. Good sports movie. I really enjoyed it, man. I thought
LL Cool J.
LL Cool J, it's the crazy running back, man. A lot of personalities in that, man. So let's go on to our next game, our next and last game. Like I said, I think the NFL was really, really not good games yesterday. Last game, and D-Dubs, he's not here. But he keeps saying it, man. I'm not going against Kansas City. And Kansas City.
I don't know what the hell that was about.
From the AP, Kansas City, Missouri. Andy Reid doesn't need to schedule a stress test anytime soon. He seems to get one every week. The Kansas City Chiefs coach saw a third string kicker doink a 31-yard field goal off the left upright and threw for a victory that secured the Chiefs' 9th straight AFC West title. It was the Chiefs' 15th straight win and a one-score game over the last 2 seasons. Patrick Mahomes led the 2-time defending Super Bowl champions 12-1 in a clock-killing 4.5-minute drive to set up Matthew Wright's 4th field goal. The ball clanged off the right upright in the latest narrow escape for Kansas City, which is 10-0 this season and one-score games. The Chiefs have now had 3 different kickers make a game-winning field goal as time expired this season. No other team in NFL history has had more than one kicker do in a single season. I'm mad at the Chargers because the Chargers, they should have, in my opinion, they should have put Kansas City away, and they didn't, and they left way too much time for that. And the Chiefs yet escaped again. And this might be, some of y'all might be saying this is not the best Chiefs win, but you know what? They're the two-time defending Super Bowl champions, and they keep knowing and keep winning.
But they're not superhuman though. There are chinks in the armor that you can see. Right, the offensive line is actually terrible. It's just no one. We'll talk about this in another episode. I don't have enough time to go into what Patrick Mahomes does and weaponizing the pass interference when he's in trouble and all the rest of that crap that he does. I mean, hey man, listen, it's he's using the game, he's using the rules of the game. But there are things that he does that you can see. You're like, okay, if you had like, and there aren't any, but I'll give a Revis Island dude there, you would beat them every time because all you got to do is have one dude to rush, one dude to spot because he ain't fast. You're just gonna have a receiver that can play somebody without touching.
Right.
As soon as you touch him, he's going to get a flag. So if you could get that, you'd be fine. But he does have Hopkins and Nuke is he catches everything. He may not be fast anymore. It may not be a bunch of things, but he catches every damn thing. So and he will continue to. He had 2 damn years off. So yeah. He didn't really do much in Tennessee, and the year before that he was hurt. So his legs are fresh.
Yeah, and if you think about Tennessee, Kansas City has changed their philosophy. Right now, they're pretty much the defensive oriented. They coupled their championship years before.
They were
offensive minded, and they was up and down the field and just doing what they do. And now they're defensive minded, and shout out to them. Couple notable losses me and DA talked about before we got on. We talked about the Jets being eliminated. The Aaron Rodgers experiment looks like it's done, over for real. It's
I only want one thing: him not to come back to California.
Oh, they talking though. They're reunited, and it feels so good, man.
He was never with us. I don't know what never reunited.
Oh, but he's from Northern California.
So is Tom Brady. Don't matter. It don't matter. He ain't playing for free. So I don't want him. After this year, his ass should play for free. But I'm not, and I know Shanahan's not doing that. So
no,
if he is, then I'm out. I'm burning my hat.
No, don't be like you didn't burn your Juan Soto jersey either, did you last night?
Yeah. Yo, dog. I got to go. I should go, but yeah, you know.
We'll
Listen,
talk.
$756 million. I ain't mad at him. He buying the whole island.
We'll break that down on Thursday, man. But
yo, give me 1 second, Sonny.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll break that down, man. Listen, we got to go. DA's got to go, as you can see. Listen, on behalf of myself, I'm Kevin O'Warren, your host and moderator. And for the DA, man, yo, this is the Sports Chasers podcast, man. Y'all be
Wake
good.
Me up in 2 weeks.
Hey, check us out on Thursday, man. And yo, we'll be back, man. Y'all be good. Y'all be blessed. We'll talk to y'all later.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Sports Chasers podcast. Don't forget to subscribe on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms and connect with us on all social media channels for exclusive content and updates. We'd also love for you to join the conversation, share your thoughts, and become part of the Sports Chasers community. And remember to tune in next time for some more real sports talk. Until then, stay frosty.